Williams, another guy that we covered during the pre-draft analysis shows. It was Nohl Williams from California. I'm
sorry to interrupt real fast. Louisville official athletic sports roster page, Gelati.
Phonetically, okay, we got it right then. But Nohl Williams taking the third round. Cal, this guy's a ball hawk. Led the nation in interceptions. We haven't really had a guy do that in a while. I mean, not to say I'm not going to compare him to Marcus Peters at all, but like when we had Marcus Peters in his early days, we had a ball hawk. He was a guy who took chances on this, and that not to say Nohl Williams is a risk taker by any means. Yeah, I think he's more of a solid cornerback than Marcus Peters was, because Marcus Peters took a lot of 50-50 type chances. Nohl Williams is a solid quarterback who led the nation in interceptions. We just haven't had a guy like that in a while, so I'm very excited about this pick here. What do you guys grade Nohl Williams from Cal?
I like his size. As far as him going up being a ball hawk, like you said, if people are trying to discount his ball hawk ability, the 7 interceptions should, just say enough of what it is. When I watched him in film, playing the technique about getting on a wide receiver right on his hip and getting his head round, he doesn't have a lazy head whatsoever. I think he's more technical sound than anything else. Maybe what you want a little bit faster from him, he runs a 4.5. But the thing is, if you run technique, and he says he's a physical corner. So when I hear a corner talking about he's physical, I love it, because you can see on film if you are or you're not. Okay, the film will make you easily a liar, and he didn't lie not one bit about it. So the thing is, making sure the guys didn't get on top of him. So if you have a wide receiver that's 4.3 or whatever, he get his hands on him, staying physical at the line of scrimmage. That's what we need to see in man. He'll challenge guys in the room to come out there and be a starter immediately. I think day one, and I think that's why they went ahead and got this kid, because he is a baller. 7 interceptions in itself, he's like, man, this guy knows how to find the football. It's pure and simple. That's what it's all about. So I think that's what it is. If you're talking about the start and stop, him catching footballs and whatnot, he's going to challenge guys. He's a great tackler. I like this pick for us. I do. So we got guys at the position that we also too, like I told you, Marcus, we ain't about babysitting, and I'm not talking really about anybody in itself. This is just about production. That's what the Chiefs need. That's what the NFL wants. And so get a guy like this in right now. It's a 3rd round pick. He's going to make sure everybody in that room is going to feel him.
And correct me if I'm wrong, is this the highest cornerback outside of McDuffie in the round 1? Is this the highest picked cornerback by Veach outside of McDuffie in round 1? Because I mean, all the other ones are like what, late round. Was Snead 3rd or 4th?
I want to guess 4th.
Okay. Josh Williams was 4th or 5th. Watson 7th round. Nazi 7th round. Might be the earliest cornerback he's taken. He's outside of McDuffie in round 1.
Snead's 4th.
Wow. Interesting. Okay. So, I mean, they like the late round cornerback. So the fact they went up and got this guy, it tells you how much they do like his skill set. So I am excited about that.
First, let me say, how about Cal? Four draft picks, all from defense too. So,
really?
Yeah,
wow.
They know how to coach. They know how to coach him.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, for a 3rd rounder, a 4th rounder, a 4th rounder, and a 6th rounder. So it's pretty good. Bodes well for the way they coach these guys. I like seeing that. You know what none of those positions are, though? D-line. So he was doing this without a highly drafted pass rush in front of him, right? So that I love. So if you're able to generate interceptions and play press man coverage on an island the way he did in college, imagine doing that with the guys we already mentioned in front of him, a D-line. He's got an incredible ability to keep his eyes on the quarterback and readjust when the quarterback throws the ball, with his ability to keep his hands on a receiver and keep watching the quarterback. I see that that's something they really wanted, which is why they traded up for him. They wanted a guy. They're like, okay, we see our pass rush being fierce this year with just our front 4. Let's get a guy who can just play man up, press him, and then be ready for that ball. Quickly adjust when that ball comes out, and he'll be catching it. One of his top abilities, and I think that's the thing that we wanted. I think that's blatantly what we want. I think we want just a nasty 4-man rush. We don't want to have to blitz, which was happening too often last year. I do like the way Spags generated exotic blitzes, and it was great at that. I just don't want that to be the only way we generate a consistent pass rush. I want to have a pass rush outside of that. And then when you bring Shenault off the edge, when you have Trent McDuffie blitz off the slot, which they say they want to do more this year with them, I love that. It's great. Just make that be like the cherry on top, not the reason why we have 3 sacks in the game, you know? So I think he's going to play off that perfectly. I love the pick. I said before, he was probably one of my most mocked players throughout this draft process. Also, because you imagine to my excitement, he was around like 130 at 135 or 133 all the time, which is great. But when you do that and you show that they trade up for a guy, it's like, oh man, like they want him bad. So I love seeing that, and you can see why. I just can't wait to see him on the field. I give it a B+.
Wow, so you and JD are lockstep here. This is too close here, guys. This is too much, too similar with the grades here, guys.
Can I say something real quick? Okay, I know y'all keep calling McDuffie. I'm not talking about y'all, but everybody keep calling McDuffie a slot corner. Okay, and
I didn't call him that.
No, I'm saying everybody in the chat.
Okay,
no, that's you. No, I know you said they wanted to do like
They want to play him more in the slot this year. They told him on the phone they did. So
yeah. But what he has shown is that he's a pure corner. And I don't think people quite understand. It's kind of a knock somewhat. He's the kind of to do it all, but he wants to be the dude that is like when you on the outside, I want to be, isolated on a dude. I'm traveling with a guy. That's what I want to be able to be. And I think sometimes we hear slot corners, and I'm taking from just how it looks for us, like offensively, on guys on slot corners. They're I don't want this to come out wrong. But those are guys that you get that do have the skill set, but also too, your main guy is going to be on the outside. Okay, like Jamar Chase is going to be on the outside. Justin Jefferson is going to be on the outside. Like your number one receiver is going to be on the outside more so than anything else. Slot corners the slots are the guys you're going to try to run to kind of get open, a little more niftier and moving around and stuff. I think, for him, I know it. He's the best slot in the league. I want your number one guy. That's what he wants. Your number one guy is not necessarily going to be in a slot. Let me put it that way. So that's the reason I say that. He's going to line up wherever the best receiver is on the field. That's what Trent McDuffie does. So I know sometimes when people say, slot corners and whatnot, he's a pure guy. He's a pure corner. So
what do you make of what Amda says here? And I don't think that we talked about this the other day. I don't think Nohl Williams is a replacement for McDuffie at all. I think it's another cornerback to have in that room because we've been kind of dying at that cornerback 2 spot. It's a different guy every week for injuries and other stuff. But Amda says he's the pick to be the placeholder if they can't re-sign McDuffie. What do you think about that?
I think they're gonna find that out real quick, and I think that this is definitely a test to find out, because it's gonna be a high dollar for that investment for Trent McDuffie because he is so good, because he is the guy that does travel with your best receiver, and so that's what I mean. And so, if this guy comes in and plays at a high level, is that a consideration? I don't know. That's the Chiefs are always going to have their top tier guys that they sign and money's going to, right? Patrick Mahomes is going to be one of them. Chris Jones is another, and we know how that goes. Trey Smith is he's come up there now, and all of a sudden he's going to blow everything up. They just paid Bolton, so Trent McDuffie's coming in to hit everybody over the head. Creed, yep. Creed also.
Creed is paid a good amount.
Yes, sir. So
that's why the Tooney thing happened. We had to make tough decisions. We just do.
Yeah.
You just have to.
That's business. It's business. But Trent McDuffie, he's hard, man. That's a hard guy to pass up with guys that may not have that type of ability, right? So if I'm looking at your number one receiver, I'm sitting there saying Trip McDuffie has that guy. Okay. Nobody else in the room is going to be able to cover him and do that job until we find out if somebody else can. So, yeah.
Yeah. But nonetheless, cornerback room, I think Niall said it here. Chiefs are now 5 deep at corner. Scary good. I mean, hey, that cornerback 2 spot looks a lot better than it did going into training camp last year. Remember, Watson was hurt, and we didn't see him for the last preseason game. And then that last preseason game, he played the entire time. We're like, whoa, he looks pretty rough out there. And then, he obviously, Watson was fantastic last year. Got hurt, and they came back. So, the fact that we have McDuffie, Nohl, and Watson as the top 3, I love that.
Forgot Fulton.
And Fulton too, yeah. So I mean, that's a nice foursome right there.
Yeah,
the 4 horsemen.
It's a great competition.
And what also too, like, I know people want to dog Nazi for whatever reason, but Nazi, who's a starter last year, now we have him as the 5th, 4th cornerback, and then Josh Williams also at the 4th, 5th. I mean, a lot of these guys are competing. I mean, just list out the 6 and to say that our last 2 cornerbacks are guys who were started last year at certain points. That's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Yeah. So that's well, okay. Go ahead. All right.
No, what you're going to say something? No. We do have a soundbite here from Ryan Nutt about Nohl Williams.
It would be the ball skills and the instincts. The kid consistently sets himself up to make plays.
Short, sweet about Nohl Williams from Ryan Nutt.
Hey, there you go.
Short and sweet. Hey, so straight to the point there. no farting around.
He could just say he's a ball hawk, and that's it.
That's it.
That's it. That's all
it.
Yeah.
That's all I needed to say. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.